Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little different from the usual. Rather than covering a topic or a trend, I want to cover a drama that's been sweeping the art commentary community. I'll go over everything that has taken place so far and discuss why I'm disappointed with some of the behaviors exhibited by fellow creators on this platform. Before I get into all that though, I would like to thank you all for helping me hit a huge milestone of 100,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much. I never expected to hit such a big number and it's kind of surreal to me. I thank you all deeply for allowing me to grow on here, and I truly hope you guys like the content I have in store for you guys in the future. Now, let me get into today's topic, which is the drama between a few art commentary channels and the chaos it ended up creating. I'll be breaking down everything that has happened so far and finally share my opinions on the whole situation. So if you don't know what's going on, don't worry, I got you. To get a better idea of everything in full context, however, I highly recommend you watch all the videos I mentioned in this video. They will all be linked in the description down below. Lastly, before I start, I feel like it's important for me to mention that please don't send hate or harass anyone mentioned in this video. I know this is a given, but I feel like I still have to mention it, so guys, please, if anything comes out of this video, I hope it isn't harassment towards anybody. To get started, this whole drama kicked off from an art commentary creator called Tobi, who currently has around 43,000 subscribers. She made a critique video called The Faults of Creepshow Art on another creator called Creepshow Art. In this video, Tobi proceeded to call out Creepshow for her various mishaps, including being overly emotional in her videos, as well as asking her to do more research going forward. She gave several different critiques and tips on how Creepshow could do better in the future. It was a very popular and well-liked video, and it skyrocketed Tobi's channel into the radars of myself and many others. Creepshow Art made a response video holding herself accountable for the things she was called out for. Following the success of this video, Tobi started to behave in a way that made others turn around and in turn critique her. One of those things being releasing a now deleted rant video on drama channels and her distaste of Jane Dawson being cancelled. In this deleted video, Tobi proceeded to act in the same way she critiqued Creepshow Art of doing while declaring her support for various different problematic creators.
But like, no, I'm sorry. I support Shane Dawson. I've been a fan of his ever since 2010. I've been a fan of PewDiePie. Even when he had the video where he said death to all Jews, I'm still a supporter. I'm floor gang for life. Floor gang for life. I love Gabby Hanna.
She also generalized all drama channels for being toxic, even though her own drama video on Creepshow was her claim to fame. Her inconsistencies and dismissive attitude towards the racist actions of the creators she supports made many lose taste for her content, and thus a video was made on Tobi, critiquing her on her hypocrisy and contradictory behavior. The first video in question was made by a small creator by the name of Kai Weiss with around 5,000 subscribers. The video was titled, "Tobi has a meltdown over Shane Dawson, PewDiePie and drama channels, the faults of Tobi." In this video, Kai went over the various contradictions Tobi made in her rant video on drama channels. He critiqued her on her choice to accept Shane Dawson's apology on behalf of black people, even though Tobi is not black herself. Just for more context, Kai is black himself, so he is well within his rights to critique Tobi in this specific matter. He also went over aspects of Tobi's content and the overgeneralizations Tobi made on drama channels while making drama-related content herself. During this time, a couple more videos critiquing Tobi's behaviors were made by different smaller creators. The one that ended up in the middle of this particular drama, however, happened to be a critique video titled The Faults of Tobi, released by a creator called Omnia with around 35,000 subscribers. This was a collaboration video with Kai Weiss, who had critiqued Tobi on her drama channel Meltdown video a couple months earlier. In this video, Kai and Omnia proceeded to critique Tobi on her recent problematic behaviors, such as her inability to take criticism, performative activism, and invalidating a trans man in her comment section. They also discussed a video Tobi released called "It's Still Wrong If It's Drawn," where she rants about art portraying children in a compromised way. In that specific video, Tobi made many valid points, but also huge generalizations, which is what Kai decided to critique. He mentioned that if Tobi's logic is applied to herself, she would end up looking just as bad as the people she was critiquing. This backed up by the fact that Tobi herself drew an underage character from My Hero Academia in a sexually suggestive manner, while also declaring that anyone who draws a minor in a sexually suggestive manner is a pedophile.
See anything worth noting? No? Take a look at the handle at the top. This is the name of Tobi's old Twitter and Instagram accounts. On both of those accounts you can find this image. This is a drawing of Shoto Todoroki from My Hero Academia and BDSM. Let's take a look at Todoroki's age, shall we? Oh, wow. He's 16 years old. As far as I'm concerned, that's a minor. Isn't it odd that you went out of your way to passionately tear apart these awful people, but somehow forgot to include yourself? You literally cannot say that this wasn't intended to be sexual or you aged him up, because you littered the post that you made on Instagram and Twitter with hashtags related to BDSM and yaoi, and even went on to caption the post on Twitter with "hit him harder." Is that not inherently sexual? You even got a reply from someone who expressed their distaste of the fact that you drew this, and you didn't bother to reconsider? Also, what effort did you make to age him up? Because he looks exactly as he does in the anime. And if you did age him up and wanted people to know that you did, you would have specified in the caption that he's of age. But you didn't do that at all. I'm so appalled by the fact that you filmed this video and did not think for a second about the fact that you drew this. Because according to your logic, you are just as horrible as the people that you're screaming about in this video.
In the same video, Omnia goes over her thoughts on Tobi's performative activism. Omnia, again being a black woman, was well within her rights to talk about this topic as it's something that directly affects her. She shares screenshots of her and Tobi's DM conversations where they discuss the whole Shane Dawson situation. Despite Tobi declaring that she would stop associating with Shane Dawson in the DMs with Omnia, Tobi still continued to support Shane by defending him in the comment section of her "It's still wrong if it's drawn" video. Omnia revealed those DMs to bring up the point that Tobi lied about stopping her association with Shane Dawson despite saying she would. Shortly after Omnia and Kai released their collaboration video on Tobi, things would take a turn for the worse on Twitter. This is the point where things start getting out of hand and spiraling into the mess that it's become today. A few days after Omnia and Kai's collaboration video, Tobi tweeted on her Twitter account that she would be apologizing, clarifying, and defending herself. Omnia responded to this tweet by saying she was looking forward to it. Another art commentary creator by the name of Madlips, with around 59,000 subscribers, joined in the debacle, tweeting this: "Been breaking a lot of personal rules in terms of videos lately, but hey, when somebody decided it's okay to cut up DMs, lie about situations, and be two-faced in DMs to farm a friend of mine for content, well, sometimes you gotta step up. I'm pissed, get ready." As you just witnessed, Madlips accused Omnia of cutting up DMs, lying about situations, and quote-unquote farming her friend Tobi for content. Madlips also insinuated making a video on the situation by saying quote-unquote gotta step up and quote-unquote get ready, which Tobi later reiterated in her apology/response video that I'll discuss later on. Tobi also ran with the same narrative
So
as
upon editing
Madlips
this
and
video,
tweeted
it was
that
brought to my attention by two very good friends of mine are currently working on a video going over Omnia's entire video because apparently, according to them, what they've told me, there are several inconsistencies and lies and manipulated messages that she had in her videos. That video is going to be coming out sometime soon.
Omnia allegedly cut up their DMs, lied and twisted things, as well as falsely framing Tobi as a pedophile. Wow, not only did somebody falsely frame me as a pedophile and went behind my back, but they also publicly posted a story about my family that I wanted to keep private because I wasn't ready to tell it. What an amazing creator. I also tell them in the DMs they posted that I wanted to keep it private. Omnia, who was appalled by Tobi and Madlips' accusations, got frustrated with the narrative these bigger creators were running with. So to keep her integrity, she decided to release all relevant DMs she had with Tobi to prove that she didn't twist or lie about anything, nor farm anyone for content. Following this, Omnia and Kai saw an older tweet by Madlibs claiming she will expose someone in an upcoming video. They both misunderstood that the tweet was about them, not realizing the date it was posted. They both quote tweeted the tweet, and after doing so, it was clarified to Omnia and Kai by Madlib's friend that this specific tweet wasn't about either of them, but rather another person. Madlibs also responded in a now deleted tweet by calling Omnia conceited for thinking this tweet was about her, even though Madlibs posted a tweet earlier accusing Omnia of cutting up DMs, lying about situations, and being two-faced while quote-unquote farming Tobi for content. It's not a reach for Omnia to then assume that the latter tweet Madlibs made was also about her, seeing how aggressive Madlibs' original tweet was. Madlibs quickly deleted the tweet calling Omnia conceited and shortly after replaced it with another one accusing Omnia and Kai for quote-unquote going all mean girls for assuming that the exposed tweet was about them. Now the friend that clarified the tweet to Kai and Omnia was another creator by the name of Monster with around 7,000 subscribers. I will discuss Monster's involvement in a bit, but going back to Tobi, she went on to condemn Omnia for releasing the private DMs because of a personal story that was in them. This led to Omnia responding to Tobi's allegations by tweeting this. 1. Never quote-unquote frame you as a pedo, just applied your own argument onto your own actions. 2. I wouldn't have done so if you didn't start it by falsely accusing me of quote-unquote twisting things, lying, and cutting up DMs. 3. If you don't want to apologize, alright, don't drag me into this petty shit. One thing I would also like to mention going forward from here is that while all of this was going on, Madlibs was liking tweets that were insinuating that Omnia is a pedophile. Let me read it out for you. So this Twitter account replied to Tobi's initial post. They might be projecting their own sick desires onto you. Not saying they're a secret pedo, but I'm not saying it either. And here you can see that it was liked by none other than Madlibs. It's very disappointing to see a creator who usually has good takes and critical thinking to go on and align with such heavy allegations with no proof, just for the sole purpose of shielding a friend from criticism. Coming back to Monster, however, she went on to respond to one of Tobi's tweets with another baseless accusation. To give more context, however, upon discovering that Tobi didn't want this private story to be out there, Omnia took down her original DM post and censored the private story part before re-releasing the DMs. Omnia went on to clarify that she had no way of knowing that the story shouldn't have been leaked, as this was Omnia's second time talking with Tobi over Twitter DMs, and Tobi never specifically mentioned that the story shouldn't be shared. Omnia and Kai both pointed out that Tobi shouldn't have shared something so private with a stranger who they have only interacted with once before. These statements were what led to Monster accusing Omnia of quote-unquote pulling a madame. It appears that she pulled a madame by leaking her story and then blaming you for telling her in private. Classy, very classy. Now, I personally have so many issues with that comparison, and let me explain to you why. Comparing Omnia releasing DMs to prove that she didn't twist and lie about things, as she was accused of doing, mind you, to an infamous creator who attempted to dox a minor for exposing them as an art thief is the biggest reach I have seen in a while. Madame is also known for exposing a CSA victim story without their consent, as well as scamming the anti-Onesian community. Omnia did nothing of the sort, and implying otherwise is extremely defamatory and misleading. If you want more context on who Madame is and what she has done, I recommend watching D'Angelo Wallace's video on her. Link will be in the description. Again, the reason why Omnia felt compelled to share the DMs in the first place was simply because of the accusations thrown her way by these speaker creators. Now you can argue that releasing private DMs in general is scummy or a wrong thing to do, but if people are accusing you of lying about said DMs, I think you would be well within your rights to share those DMs in order to clear your name. Unfortunately, that's the position Omnia was put in. Had Madlibs and Tobi never accused her of twisting and lying about the DMs, Omnia would have never felt pressured to release them in the first place. This concludes the Twitter chaos for now though, but if you think the drama ends here, you're terribly mistaken. A few days later, Kai West released a response video discussing the whole Twitter debacle in a video titled Tobi, Madlibs, and Nessie Monster, The Lies. In this video, he went over the whole situation and debunked accusations that Tobi was trying to pin on him and Omnia.
No one, and I mean no one, tried to falsely frame you as a pedophile. The fact that you came to this logic is absolutely delusional, ignorant, and manipulative. Not only that, but in Omnia's section of our video, she didn't even talk about your CP rant. I did. Let's play the clip of what I said and see if I ever accused you of being a pedophile. Do this yourself, Tobi. I'm going to show you all the screen cap from the end of the video. See anything worth noting? No? Take a look at the handle at the top. This is the name of Tobi's old Twitter and Instagram accounts. On both of those accounts, you can find this image. This is a drawing of Shoto Todoroki from My Hero Academia and BDSM. Let's take a look at Todoroki's age, shall we? Oh, wow. He's 16 years old. As far as I'm concerned, that's a minor. Isn't it odd that you went out of your way to passionately tear apart these awful people, but somehow forgot to include yourself? You literally cannot say that this wasn't intended to be sexual or you aged him up, because you littered the post that you made on Instagram and Twitter with hashtags related to BDSM and yaoi, and even went on to caption the post on Twitter with "hit him harder." I'm so appalled by the fact that you filmed this video and did not think for a second about the fact that you drew this. Because according to your logic, you are just as horrible as the people that you're screaming about in this video. Now that you've seen the full context, let me play this clip from the end. According to your logic, you are just as horrible as the people that you're screaming about in this video. Hopefully that drove it home. Your logic was this, Tobi.
If you think that drawing children or children that are drawn in sexual situations is okay, or you do it, or you consume it, you are a pedophile, you support pedophiles, you have no empathy and you don't fucking care, or you're fucking stupid.
You said yourself that if you draw children in a sexual situation, you are a pedophile. You drew Todoroki in BDSM. Todoroki is 16, a child. So, according to your logic, this would make you a pedophile by your own standards. Do I or Omnia think you are a pedophile for drawing this? No. But if you are going to say something like this, you might not want to do the exact thing that you're screaming at your camera about.
He also apologized for being petty on Twitter and criticized the creators mentioned in the title for getting involved in something that didn't concern them. Another creator by the name of Miss ZZ with around 67,000 subscribers chimed in and called Kai a simp in the comments of his video, where he defended himself and Omnia from the misinformation that was quickly spreading. I would like to remind you that Kai is a small up-and-coming creator with currently around 5,000 subscribers. I personally think it's very irresponsible for these bigger creators to get involved in a drama that does not concern them just because their friends are being critiqued. It's well known that Miss ZZ is friends with Madlibs, Nessie Monster, and Tobi, and the fact that she left a comment like that on Kai's video could first be seen as innocent before you realize she's actively friends with the creators being critiqued. The fact that these bigger creators are ganging up on Omnia and Kai, who have significantly smaller platforms, for giving out valid criticism is just so unnecessary and makes this whole situation that much more frustrating to follow. Tobi is a big girl, and I'm sure she's capable of taking criticism without all of her YouTuber friends getting involved to defend her, or at least that's what I would like to believe. It's not like Tobi is being cancelled or deplatformed, she is just being held accountable for the various mistakes she has made over time. This whole thing wouldn't have had to happen if Tobi apologized for her mistakes rather than starting a Twitter war with the people that criticize her. Shortly after Kai's response video to the Twitter situation, Tobi released her apology/response video titled Addressing My Controversies, where she proceeded to repeat her tweets by accusing Omnia of framing her as a pedophile. Tobi also gave out various excuses for supporting Shane Dawson, even though he is well known for his racist and predatory behavior. She again accepted his apology on behalf of black people despite being a white woman herself, and completely skipped over addressing his predatory past. Tobi also gave various other excuses for her other controversies and completely glossed over some. She mainly just focused on her beef with Omnia and went over the situation again. She reiterated her tweets by accusing Omnia of cutting up DMs and twisting them to make a narrative, while also critiquing Omnia for releasing said DMs because of a personal story that was exposed in the process. Overall, it was not really an apology video, but rather a video where she gave out excuses and threw around accusations. It was a very poorly received video, and Tobi has since lost around 2,000 subscribers. People were dissatisfied because Tobi never really took accountability for any of her actions. She also released a tweet longer where she further apologized for her dismissive and rude behavior towards a trans viewer of hers. People took issue with the tweet longer because she blamed her actions on her PPD, which came off as her not taking any accountability. After Tobi's response video, many other videos followed suit discussing this whole situation. One video in particular that caught my eye was from a smaller creator called Harsh Opinions with around 3,000 subscribers titled "So We're Gonna Pretend Now, Response to Kai Weiss." In that video, Harsh Opinions hyper-focused on Kai and Omnia's actions while dismissing and glossing over any valid criticism that Omnia and Kai put forth. Harsh Opinions video was also littered with assumptions and unfounded speculations. Suffice to say, the video didn't end up sitting well with a lot of the viewers. One thing that Harsh Opinions did point out though was Omnia's questionable comment in her latest and currently final response to the whole situation titled "Dear Tobi and Madlibs Fit Kai Weiss." There, Omnia stated that if Madlibs were to involve herself by making a video on the situation, she would end up like Tobi, losing subscribers. That part was quickly edited out of Omnia's video, but Madlibs and Harsh Opinions both had downloaded the version of the video where this comment was made. Now, Omnia has directly apologized for including that in her video, and she has expressed that she regrets ever even saying it. I want to be very open and transparent about this. I said something very deplorable at the end of this video, directed specifically at Madlibs and other commentators who want to cover this situation. What I said was very petty, very threatening, and very toxic. I have since deleted that remark because I no longer stand by what I said. I sincerely apologize to Libby, which is Madlibs, and other commentators for making that terrible remark. She also apologizes to Tobi and Madlibs for her petty quotating. She and Kai have both apologized for their contributions to this drama, whether it was in a tweet or a video, but the same cannot be said for Madlibs, Nezzy Monster, or Tobi. Kai also released a response video titled "Not So Harsh Opinions on Harsh Opinions, My Response," where he proceeded to debunk various different points and speculations made by Harsh Opinions. I won't go too deeply into it because I don't want to be here all day, but if you guys want more context, all links will be in the description of this video. I'm mentioning this here because a larger creator will soon have made a similar video to Harsh Opinions, and I felt like it was relevant enough to bring up. As I briefly mentioned earlier, Omnia and Kai released their final video titled "Dear Tobi, Madlibs Fit Kai Weiss," where they pretty much debunked all the claims that Madlibs and Tobi had accused them of. They also went ahead and apologized for their contributions to the whole drama, and concluded the video by going over the various points that Tobi made in her apology/response video. Again, if you would like more context on all of these, I will link all the videos discussed in here in the description of this video. It's always best to watch them yourself to form a full opinion based on the evidence provided. After Omnia and Kai's final video was released, a larger creator by the name of Nani with around 162,000 subscribers released a video called "Kai's Video About Tobi, Tobi Videos Part 1", where she echoed the poorly constructed points that Harsh Opinions have made in their video. Nani's video was insufficiently researched, demonstrated by the fact that she personally admitted that she didn't watch all the relevant videos before making this one, including Omnia's video where she debunks most of the misinformation in Nani's video. Nani also expressed how dumb and blown out this whole drama has gotten, while simultaneously bringing up the fact that she's planning on making multiple videos going over the whole situation. Nani was heavily criticized because of this, but she deflected the criticism as her quote-unquote being too nice. Do people think I'm biased because I'm not mean in my videos? I truly don't understand. I plan on being nice when I critique Tobi. I literally almost always been really calm in my videos. One of her followers responded to her with this: Regardless of how you intended the video to be heard, it came off as biased because of a lack of thorough research and incomplete information. If you want to know why folks think you're biased, this is why. It remains to be seen if Nani chooses to listen to the constructive criticisms of her own subscribers or continue to dismiss them with these poor excuses. Another creator by the name of Hopeless Peaches with around 76,000 subscribers involved herself in the drama early on. Peaches had sided with Kai and Omnia, defending them both from Tobi's claims on Twitter. She soon changed her stance though after watching Harsh Opinion's video on the situation. Now this in itself wouldn't have been an issue if Peaches wasn't going around invalidating Omnia and Kai's apologies in YouTube comment sections to random strangers with the pretense that she knew them personally. Wow, that was a long ass sentence. For context, Peaches has been friends with Omnia for a month, so she does know Omnia and has talked with her on multiple occasions. However, she does not know Omnia enough to be making statements on the validity of her apology with the excuse that she knows Omnia personally. Peaches has gone on record to say this, and I quote, "Both sides, Omnia, Kai, and Tobi, I know them personally. As I said, that's why I can say with confidence, no apology has been genuine." Another thing she commented, and I quote, "I know Tobi isn't nice. I know she's bad. She's hurt me personally, but she has never hurt Omnia and Kai, especially to where they leaked all her private info." Now before I continue, I want to clarify that this is blatant misinformation that Hopeless Peaches is spreading. Omnia has never leaked all of Tobi's private information. In fact, the only thing Omnia has leaked were the DMs she was accused of lying about. So for Hopeless Peaches to accuse Omnia of releasing all, I repeat, all Tobi's private info was a completely incorrect statement, and it's actually kind of defamatory. Secondly, Peaches claimed that Kai and Omnia were never hurt by Tobi enough to leak things. Now since I'm assuming you guys have functioning brains and you've watched this video this far, I'm sure you've all spotted what's wrong with Peaches' statement. Let me remind you all that Tobi and Madlips accused Omnia of lying and twisting DMs, which is why Omnia ended up leaking the DMs to prove that she never lied. So Peaches, please explain what you mean by these comments, because you were supposedly Omnia's friend while spreading these types of faulty narratives. It makes you look really bad. Upon discovering the untrue statements that Peaches was making in Harsh Opinion's comment section, Omnia intervened and directly asked Peaches to not speak on her behalf. This is the interaction that follows suit. I'll read it out for you guys. Omnia said, "Can you please stop claiming that you know Kai and I personally? We've talked a handful of times. I'd appreciate if you stopped attempting to comment on our behalf. You don't know me personally." Peaches responded, "Don't know you. Easy to mistake lots of banter and combos as knowing you more personally than just via videos. I personally think I made friends after a month of talking. Sorry." Omnia said, "I'm sorry, but you don't really know anything personal about me, so I don't think it's fair for you to say that you know me personally. You're fine. I'd just appreciate if you stop talking on my behalf." Peaches says, "How is it on your behalf? I said a personal opinion from my perspective based on knowing you for a month. Unless I'm supposed to pretend that I quote-unquote barely know you, unless I say good things, as Kai puts it, it's upsetting, honestly." Omnia responds, "Peaches, you can't claim to know me personally and then say that Tobi quote-unquote never hurt Omnia to the point where they leaked all her private info, end quote, when I never did any of the sort. You can't claim to know me personally and then say that, quote, no apology has been genuine, end quote." Peaches responded, "Omnia, I won't go off in a comment section fighting you all day. Instead, I'll leave it at this. Yeah, I don't know anything too personal about you, but you know personal stuff about me. You knew personal stuff about Tobi. You acted all nice and friendly with me and friendly with Tobi until a disagreement happened. Then suddenly it's, quote, I barely know you, end quote. If you aren't an open person, sure, fine, that's okay. But if you don't want to be friends or friendly, don't accept to listen to people's personal stuff who clearly see you as something more than a stranger. You don't quote-unquote barely know me, you know me far more than I know you, which I usually don't care about in friendships, as I accept all forms of openness. But if you can't accept that, then it feels more like a power disparity. I have to pause here real quick and explain what's going on. Omnia simply asked Peaches to not speak on Kai and hers behalf because of the blatant misinformation that Peaches was spreading. Now, Omnia did go on record to say that Peaches doesn't know her personally, which she clarifies in this comment. Peaches, you can't claim to know me personally, and then say that Tobi, quote, never hurt Omnia to the point where they leaked all her private info, end quote, when I never did any of the sort. You can't claim to know me personally and then say, quote, no apology has been genuine, end quote. Peaches somehow interpreted this as Omnia saying, quote, I barely know you, end quote, which she never actually said. Let me go on and read the rest of this conversation and I'll come back to you guys soon. Omnia says, that's never what this conversation was about though. All I asked of you was to not speak on my behalf. That is all. I would appreciate if you didn't speak on my behalf. Thanks. Peaches responds, just to help you as you seem to misunderstand talking on X's behalf, having my own personal opinions and presenting them as my own opinions is not talking on your behalf. That is saying what I have seen personally, a personal opinion. Harsh opinion says Kai is talking on your behalf due to him talking and presenting it as your opinion, not his. I'm not doing that at all. Me knowing you doesn't mean I have to be silent. I am just choosing to now because I see it as pointless, seeming as you lied about even knowing me, the most trivial thing ever. Let me repeat that. Seeming as you lied about even knowing me, the most trivial thing ever. Now this is the last reply on this thread. I'll read the last one and it was from Omnia. She says, I never stated that you don't know me at all, nor did I lie about you quote-unquote even knowing me. I stated that despite the fact that we have talked a handful of times, you don't know me personally. When you say that, quote, no apology has been genuine, end quote, it appears as though you are stating a fact. When you say that Tobi, quote, never hurt Omnia and Kai to the point where they leaked all her private info, end quote, it appears as though you are stating a fact. Claiming that you know me personally gives leverage to that argument. As you saw from the comments that I just read out, Peaches accused Omnia of lying about even knowing her, which if you guys read what I read, never actually happened. Peaches also declared that everything she said about Kai and Omnia was all her own opinion. The issue here is that she never presented these comments as her own opinion. She made it a point to mention that she was personally close with Kai and Omnia enough to know that their apologies weren't genuine and that they weren't hurt by Tobi's actions. Omnia simply asked Peaches to stop speaking on her behalf because had Peaches known Omnia personally, she wouldn't be making claims that Omnia's apology wasn't genuine or that Omnia wasn't hurt by Tobi's actions. Omnia and Kai, who are both black, have the right to be hurt by Tobi's blind support of the racist Shane Dawson. Omnia also has the right to be hurt by the false accusations that Tobi pinned on her. So hopeless Peaches making such invalidating remarks only proved that despite talking and being friends for a month, she didn't know Omnia enough personally to recognize why Omnia was hurt by Tobi's actions. Hopeless Peaches also continuously tweeted about how the drama was stupid and everyone in it was in the wrong, while simultaneously keeping the drama alive by commenting on it and constantly spreading misinformation in YouTube comment sections and on her Twitter. Peaches has gone on record to say this, and I quote, both are bad, both need to apologize properly. I'm really sick of this drama and everyone in it. If you are truly tired of the drama, you wouldn't constantly comment on it, Peaches. This drama wasn't about you, but you still made it a point to constantly talk about it, all the while saying people should stop. This is very contradictory behavior on your part, and I hope you recognize that. Lastly, you do realize that you making the same equivalence from Tobi's mistakes to Omnia and Kai's mistakes doesn't add up. Both are not as bad as you claim. All Kai and Omnia did in this drama was petty quote tweeting, mistakenly releasing unblurred DM, and saying a threatening comment in a video. That's it. And in case you forgot, Kai and Omnia both already apologized for all of their actions, both on their Twitter and on their YouTube videos. Tobi, on the other hand, has done far more, which I'm sure you're familiar with since you've gotten this far in the video. But in case you forgot, let me put this on the screen for you. Pause to read it. Both are not equally bad, and they never have been. This all started because Tobi refused to take criticism and her friends came to her defense with false allegations. Now another creator who happens to be friends with Hopeless Peaches by the name of Manga Comment also involved himself in this drama by commenting and debating Kai in his comment section, as well as leaving various different nitpicky comments on other videos regarding this drama. Mind you, Manga Comment is a very big channel with around 56,000 subscribers. I really don't have enough patience to discuss what was said in those comments, but if you are curious, go check them out on the comment section on Kai's response video to Harsh Opinions, as well as the comment section on Harsh Opinions' own video. Since I don't want this video to be an eternity long, I will hop on to the last part of this video, which is the conclusion. Now that you guys are fully informed on this complete drama, I want to personally critique the people involved in all of this. As a person who was following this whole situation unfold on the sidelines, I'm extremely disappointed with some of the behaviors exhibited by fellow art commentary creators. I understand that you're all friends or friendly with Tobi and that she is very well connected in the art commentary community, but you also have to recognize that the criticisms Tobi has received were all valid and well deserved. Secondly, Madlib's making baseless accusations with Tobi about Omnia cutting up DMs while then getting angry at her for releasing said DMs is extremely manipulative, and this is something that Nani, Harsh Opinions, and Hopeless Peaches have all failed to recognize. One big critique that Omnia is getting from all of this is why didn't she reach out to Tobi before making the initial video with Kai? Omnia has stated in her latest video on the situation that she did not trust Tobi enough to go to her about the video since Tobi lied about her association with Shane Dawson, which in turn made Omnia lose trust in her. Another criticism Omnia is getting is why didn't she ask permission to release the DMs she had with Tobi? I hope you guys realize how foolish this criticism actually is. Why would anyone reach out to a person who accused them of twisting DMs for the purpose of getting permission to release said DMs? That literally makes no sense, and it's unfair to expect that from Omnia. I'm going to be transparent and let you all know that I am friends with Omnia, and while I am her friend, I can recognize when she did wrong in the whole situation, and I have let her know about it too. But the difference with Omnia and Kai is that they never held back from apologizing for the things they messed up on. They have both taken accountability for their actions. You cannot say the same for Tobi, Madlibs, Nezimonster, Nani, or Peaches. None of them have apologized for how they have contributed or acted during this drama, and none of them have taken accountability for the mistakes they have made in the process. They have all deflected blame, pointed fingers, thrown accusations, and in some cases even spreading straight up misinformation without ever stopping to think about their actions. Seeing fellow art commentary channels that are known for their critical thinking and fair videos like Madlibs liking tweets insinuating that Omnia is a pedophile is just beyond comprehension to me. Pushing out narratives that Omnia cut up DMs, lied and farmed Tobi for content is so defamatory. You were the one who started the whole lied about DMs narrative, Madlibs, and yet you never once apologized for that, and to me that's very irresponsible. Seeing the usually fair and level-headed Nani go on to join on this dogpiling without proper context for the whole situation was also shocking and unlike her. I hope you listen to the criticism you are getting and truly reflect on how dangerous it can be to spread misinformation to your 162,000 subscribers. Seeing large creators like Hopeless Peaches, Miss Zizi, and Manga Comment leaving passive-aggressive comments on Kai's significantly smaller channel for fairly criticizing Tobi is truly perplexing. You do realize how intimidating it can get to have half of the art commentary creators ganging up against you as a small up-and-coming creator. Comparing Omnia clearing her name to Madame, who is known for attempted doxing, scamming, art theft, and straight up lying is so mind-numbingly stupid as well. And this goes out to you, Nezimonster. Again, I understand you are all friends or friendly with Tobi, but true friends hold their own accountable when they have made mistakes. They don't just white knight and shield their friends from well-deserved criticism. Ganging up on significantly smaller, up-and-coming POC creators for giving out valid criticism on your friend is not something I'm going to pass by and ignore, which is why this video was made in the first place. The point of my video is not to cancel Tobi, and neither was Omnia's or Kai's video. It was simply to hold her accountable for her actions and behaviors in hopes that she does better in the future. Same goes with the rest of the creators I mentioned in this video. I don't want any of them to get cancelled, nor do I hate them. I want them to do better and hold their friends to the same standards as they're holding everyone else they have critiqued. Anyways, I've gone on for too long. Moral of the story is that we as the art commentary community need to do better. This type of clickiness is only going to make you guys lose integrity, and that's the worst thing that could happen to channels like ours. Please don't continue to make things worse than they are and hold your friends accountable. Again, Omnia and Kai have both made mistakes in the process and have since apologized for the parts they played. The same cannot be said for any of the other creators I mentioned in this video, which is truly disappointing. I'll leave you all with this last note. Please do better. Oof, that was a lot. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked this video. I became a drama channel real quick, but I don't think I have enough patience to continue covering drama related content. Let me know what you thought of this video. Shout out to my current patrons, Empress Durden and B Makias. Thank you for your continued support. I really appreciate it. I also have a Discord server now, so if you're up for it, consider joining. All links will be found in the description of this video. The character I drew in this video is Tobi's original character. I hope I did her justice. What do you guys think about this whole situation? What do you think about the behaviors of these art commentary channels? Did you agree with me? Did you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments. Bye!